Guys, we don't have time for music right now. We are getting some action in the courtroom. Give me just a second as we get that to you. Sorry, lunch was quick. It's over. Welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Give me just a minute to get everything set up here with a video for you. Source 3 is 2. Sorry, you guys aren't seeing anything right now, are you? Welcome. Just 1 second. Jury's been deliberating for about 4.5 hours. My timer is a little bit higher than what other people have. Just looking around to see who has what. But it looks like there might be a note or something. The jury's coming out for this one. We hear some paper being shuffling. Sean, thank you very much. Give me just 1 second. I'm trying to get everything pulled up. This was quite sudden. Deliberation's still going on. The judge has asked for the jury to come out. They're coming back from lunch. They went to lunch about, well, I'm keeping my timer holding still because I think the other clock is more accurate. Let's see. Apple 2 was this one. This is the knock. It's the voice of that's the voices of the jury you're hearing. A little jovial laughing.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back on the record. With State of New Jersey versus Paul Caneiro. It's indictment 19-020283. The attorneys are here. Mr. Caneiro is here. Just before the lunch hour, 2 questions were provided to the court.
We have 2 questions.
Now it's been marked as CJ number 4. Is there a count 10? The answer to that is no. There is not a count 10 for you to consider. We did not mess up the verdict sheet. There is no count 10. The second question is marked as CJ number 5. Indicates, can we see exhibit S313? S313 is the knife. So this is what we're going to do for you. We have some brown paper that we are going to put into the jury room. The sheriff's officer is going to do that. He's also going to bring in a bunch of nitrile gloves for you to use if you want to use that. And then also the box that has the knife inside that. We put the paper out because you saw what the knife looked like, to make sure that you had the opportunity to take a look at the knife. You have plenty of gloves. If you need anything else, all you have to do is let us know. Okay? The last thing I'll say is I saw as you guys were walking out that some may be a little cold. Are you guys okay? Are you cold? Anyone? You guys all right? All right. Maybe I just read that wrong. It's a little cold?
She wants.
What was that, like, kind of like nod over there? Why don't you gotta take care of him. You just give him one of these. All right, so we'll go back. Just, you know what, why don't you hang out for 1 second? The sheriff's officer, if you want to take that, put that in there, please.
Is there a count 10? No. There's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, I guess.
You can do whatever you want in there. We just want to give you all the things. You can do whatever you want.
So contrary to the instructions that they got previously, they're being told that they can have the knife in the jury deliberation
great.
room.
Our jurors that are deliberating can go back in the room. Our alternates can stay here, please.
Okay, I'm going to start the timer again, even though I'm about 15 minutes faster than others. It's all right.
Our 4 alternates, you can go with our officer, please.
Do the alternates
Can
go
I have the
with?
white noise on, and can I see the attorneys, please?
Can I have the white noise on, and can I see the attorneys, please? The white noise is for the people in the courtroom. Paul's like, hey, what about me? What about me? I want to hear. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, I can hear now. Okay, I'm good. Let's see. It's becoming clear as we wait and watch this that in the Nancy Guthrie case, that politics are coming to play, and by politics I mean a power struggle between the local law enforcement and the federal law enforcement, and who gets to do what and who shares what with what. The FBI basically being treated like a redheaded stepchild. The sheriff thinks that he can't trust them to draw a hand turkey, let alone handle the investigation, and so they're just not turning things over to the FBI. This would explain why we see multiple different agencies coming to investigate multiple times, doing their own investigation, because they're not talking to each other. This is, as I've said before.
Thank you all.
This is basically a pissing match, if you'll pardon the term. If you'll pardon the term, as egos and feelings are hurt over past investigations, and the family is losing out on this one. The FBI has vast resources in abductions, kidnappings, hostage situations, missing persons, any other possible scenario you could possibly fit the Nancy Guthrie case into. The FBI probably has more experience investigating and solving those crimes than Podunk, Tucson, Arizona Sheriff's Department. And for them to say, no, we've got it on, we don't want you, we've got it on our own, we'll do it ourselves, it's flipping the bird to the family is what that's doing. So anyway, I'm disappointed in that. Yes. The gloves, for instance, the gloves were sent to a lab in Florida, not to Quantico, where the FBI can rush things. There's a lot. Anyway, police are zipping by my house. Everyone's saying, "Can we say this? Can we say that?" I was literally talking at they're measuring who can pee the farthest. I think that's the contest they're having. Who's the bigger person because they can pee farther. Sorry, that's a word in England that means something completely different than what it means in the United States. Sorry about that. Let's see. Yes, I apologize. I think count 9 might be possession of a knife search. What does it mean that the jury comes back and says, is there a count 10? Well, it means that at least one of them has been flipping through and reading the instructions and going ahead. Either that's where they all are, they've got through the first counts and they're working their way through, or not. I don't know why they want to see the knife. I'm pretty sure the knife that I think they said, what, 331? I believe that is the knife. That is the knife that is burned and covered in charcoal and was tested and had some blood, some DNA type residue on it or something like that. I believe that's the knife. They're not talking about the knife that is the switchblade, spring-loaded, clean black knife that we were shown earlier. I don't know what that knife would tell you other than confirm that it was. I mean, if you hold it, you can probably tell for yourself that it belonged in that knife block. That it belonged in that block that was in the kitchen. Other than that, it's damaged so badly. I'm not sure. Tracy says, I live in Pima County, south of Tucson. I'm very aggravated by the case. What's frustrating to me, and we saw this the same thing with the Cavalcante manhunt in Pennsylvania. The local officials are doing what I need to be careful how I say this. We see similarities between this investigation and what happened in Cavalcante's, as well as what happened in Brian Koberger's case in the early days, with what information is let out, what is not let out, the chaos and everything else. And some of that is just the nature of the event, right? The incident command system that the police use is very well structured. They know from the minute the call comes in, who's going to be in charge and where, and who's going to report to who, and who, as soon as the first person responds on scene, what their role is. That ICS structure, they're trained on a ton. I've been through some of these trainings. The incident has a pyramid, a chain of command, who reports to who manages different things. That exists. And for them to be saying that it doesn't really matter who's in charge, it does. There has to be somebody calling the shots. You can't just have all the investigators just running out doing whatever they want, wherever they want, however they want. And it's frustrating. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. Sean says chat's not on the screen, and he sends another one. I'm sorry. You did, in fact, send an earlier super chat, which I will pull up as well. Sean was live this morning on his live stream. I got to check in a little bit before we went live this morning as you were driving. Sean, thank you very much. I'd like to check in and see how you're doing. Glad you're driving safe. And thanks for reminding me to put the chat on the screen. Appreciate it. Let's see. Thanks. I was focused. I was focused on something else. What did I miss? The jury had a request. The jury had 2 requests right before lunch. Now we've started the timer again. Let me show you what the timer's set at. Super source. 4 is 4. And then 3 is off. 4 is on. There we go. I figured it out. All right, there's our timer. I'm about 15 minutes fast, I think. Or 10 minutes fast, roughly. I started the timer. I didn't stop the timer until they were at lunch for a little while. I think they went to lunch about 10 minutes before I stopped my timer. But they're back now. They're deliberating. Right before they went to lunch, there were a couple questions that were sent in to the judge. The first question was, is there a charge number 10? Like, are we missing a page? The judge said no. That's just, this happens in court cases. The charges are numbered and the charge is attached to the number. And if you drop or dismiss a charge, or if it merges with something else, then the numbers retain their original placeholder value. So for whatever reason, 10, it does not exist anymore. That's not the jury's concern. Don't look at the numbering system as, oh no, I'm missing one. Look at it as just it's like a serial number. It's an identifier, but it's not necessarily a consecutive count. That was part number 1. Part number 2, the question was they want to see the knife. The knife, I believe the knife, I think it was State's Exhibit 331, which I think was the knife that was found in the house with the fire, the Keith's house. So that's where we are. Man, it gave me a heart attack when they came back so quickly. The judge is like, all right, bring the jury. And that's what I heard because I'm monitoring it in my headphones, the live feed. I'm like, no, and as I'm running. running back. Okay. There we go. New Jersey versus Paul Caneiro verdict watch. We're back. All right. Josh says he's got something for us out of Thurston County, Court 3, which we'll watch while we wait. Thurston County District Court 3. And let's see what that is. Is it the hour and 2 minutes one? Or the 17-minute one, Josh? Both were today. Paging Josh. Paging Josh. Oh, he's already told me. Sorry, 1 hour. Okay, gotcha.
Chance to review the submissions in this, and it appears that there has been a proper exchange of documents. So I will turn it to you, Mr. Provotsky. What would you like me to know in this matter?
Thank you, Your Honor. Been an Amazon customer, as many of us have, for over 20 years, nearly 5,000 orders and $450,000 in purchases. I'm here because Amazon has repeatedly violated the Washington Consumer Protection Act by recharging me for items that I properly returned. My evidence shows, I guess, three things. First, the broken promise. On December 22nd, the chat with the Amazon representative, Isha, promised me in writing through Amazon's official chat that she would refund the $6,583.68 to my credit card within 3 to 5 days by December 27th. I have a complete transcript, which is Exhibit 1. Refund never came. I asked about it. Amazon ignored me. Second is just a pattern of improper recharges. I've documented 3 specific in which the tracking shows Amazon received the refund, yet they recharged me weeks or months later. And Amazon's exhibits today actually confirm this. If you look at the language, it says retro charged or refunded as exception or one-time courtesy. Those, I believe, are admissions. The charges were improper. Third is this systemic knowledge of Amazon that Amazon hid from me. In October or early, sometime in 2024.
This is nuts.
I raised this complaint with Amazon. In October of 2024, Amazon's attorneys informed me there were no systemic issues. Amazon, at the time, though, I didn't know until just recently, was defending a class action suit for $309 million involving those exact same practices.
Mr. Provotsky, I'm sorry, I need to cut you off. I realized I've skipped a step in this process. Which is that I failed to swear you in. Would you be so kind as to raise your right hand for me, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you provide at today's hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, including what I just said.
Perfect. I just want to double check, Mr. Provotsky. Was the information you just provided true before I swore you in, true and accurate?
Yes, Your Honor. Everything is said.
All right. And you are now speaking under oath, which means you are susceptible to the laws of Washington State. Do you wish to recant anything that you just shared?
No, Your Honor.
Perfect. All right. Anyway, please
Tracy
excuse
G,
my
congratulations
mishandling of that.
internet.
Please proceed.
And Kim,
no
thanks
worries.
for kindness.
So yeah, Amazon was defending a federal class action at that time. This started in 2023. That case is in the process of settlement, which I included in my exhibits as well. Amazon and its attorneys knew of this widespread issue and concealed it from me in those conversations. Then, as I mentioned initially, a couple months after having those conversations with Amazon's attorneys, I had that chat with the Amazon representative who informed me $6,500 would be refunded to my card. At the time, it was a chat that I opened for a specific product, but I believed made sense to me that it was for the entirety of the issue, not just that product, because that product was, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of $700-800. And so under Washington's Consumer Protection Act, Amazon's repeated unfair practices, I think, should entitle me to treble as well. So I'm asking the court actually for the maximum, even though I'm not sure if I needed to include that in my original notice or not. I put
You're
the
comparing
Practices Act on
apples
there,
and
but I
orangutans
didn't
here.
put the amount at 10,000. So, Your Honor, I
5
know
hours.
Amazon is going to raise the issue of venue, so I'll bring it up myself as well. They talk about their venue being King County per their terms, but I do also understand that
Hello?
Washington courts have found those to be invalidated if they're unreasonable or contravene with a public policy. And I would also note that because Amazon withheld the class action from me, and they transact business here in Thurston County at their massive facility in Lacey, that this is the proper venue. I'd have to travel to King County. They, from what I understand, do not have a Zoom option, and that isn't a possibility for me.
Right. Then I suppose we'll start with the issue of jurisdiction. Mr. Pravatsky, I want to make sure is there anything else you'd like me to consider as to jurisdiction?
I don't think I don't know of any other thing myself, Your Honor.
Understood.
He spends
Ms.
more
Voorhees, I'll turn to you.
on
Let's start with
Amazon
the issue of jurisdiction. Is there anything you'd like me to consider there?
than my net worth.
No, but should I be sworn in as well?
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm a pro tem. I'm used to another courtroom. Would you be so kind as to raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Thank you. If you can put your hand down, I'll consider you sworn in and speaking under oath. Please remember that the laws of Washington State apply. Now, what would you like me to know to jurisdiction, ma'am?
Although it does state in Amazon's conditions of use that regarding venue, it should be filed in King County District Court, and there is also a carve out for small claims, which states that either arbitration or small claims. Since this is within the jurisdictional limitations of small claims court, we are fine with proceeding today.
Understood. All right. Then moving to the case in full, what would you like me to know about this matter, ma'am?
Yes. So I would first like to begin with the order mentioned in Mr. Pravatsky's Exhibit 1. This is order ID ending in 205. And this information on this order can be found in our Exhibit 1 as well.
Yes, they're just more expensive.
So the first page of Exhibit 1, you can see that the item was purchased on November 29th, 2024.
What was the item?
For $822.96. It was 8 sets of twinkly net lights.
Ma'am, I'm going to cut you off. Just to be sure, you're pointing to your Exhibit 1, correct? Not the plaintiff's Exhibit 1?
Yes, correct. And it was charged on November 30th when it entered the shipping process. There was later a refund requested of these items. Amazon did receive these returns, and they were processed on December. 7 of the items were processed on December 23rd of 2024. The last remaining item had a different scan number than the rest. It might have been shipped at a separate time or in a different box, and that one was processed on January 4th, 2025. The refund the entire order amount has been refunded, $822.96. In Mr. Pravatsky's Exhibit 1, he points to a chat regarding the twinkly net lights in that specific order. Our Exhibit 1 correlates with this order. He asks where the refund is. it does sometimes take a while for a refund to be issued. Our terms, our refund terms do state that it can take 30 days or more sometimes for items to be processed. And at the end of that chat, they do explain that they apologize for waiting so long for the refund of this order. And we do believe that there was a typo in the amount that the order was. However, shortly after this chat, the entirety of the order was refunded.
They had an extra zero.
And we do not believe that a clerical error from the customer service representative, indicates a new
Contractual
contract
obligation.
or a new agreement. The contract in place is Amazon's conditions of use and the refund and return policies, which entitles customers to the refund of the order amount. And that amount has been refunded. We do not believe that the typo, indicates a new contract. It is also clear within that conversation that it is referencing that specific order. And the total there was $822.96. Regarding the retro charges, this order was not retro charged. To give a quick explanation of what a retro charge is, when you return an item to Amazon, occasionally upon first scan, that item will be refunded. However, later on, if Amazon does not receive the item or does not receive it in new and unused condition, then occasionally the item will be recharged. For the orders that Mr. Pravotsky has mentioned to us, he stated that these are the orders that he intends to reference within the claim. Upon review, we've seen that they were retrocharged in accordance with Amazon's policies. However, those retro-charges have since been refunded as a gesture of goodwill. Upon hearing from Mr. Pravotsky that, he did return them. If you go to Exhibit 2, this is an example of one of those orders. Each of the exhibits, our exhibits 2, 3, and 4, these are orders that were mentioned to us prior to this hearing. And you can see on page 1 of Exhibit 2 that it was later recharged, but then refunded in whole. If you
Pause. We're hearing. We got the buffer sound in chat of all places. Just kidding, Amber. Thank you. Hold, please. We're just trying to confirm everything here.
Remember in the beginning when we started 110 years ago?
The verdict clock has been stopped. The jury took less time than it took the prosecution to tell their case to come to a verdict here. Closing arguments for the prosecution took 5 hours and 20 minutes. We are looking at about 5 hours roughly. If you look between the two clocks here on this chart, roughly 5 hours difference, difference of a few minutes that the jury was able to come to a conclusion. There are, 15 charges in this? No charge number 10? Paul Caneiro is charged with murdering his brother Keith, his brother's wife, and their 2 children. All of this allegedly was because Paul and Keith had some disagreements about money. Those disagreements were where Keith's money should go and whether or not Paul should be able to take it out of a trust fund. He did that multiple times to the tune of several $1,000s, sometimes getting caught, sometimes repaying some of it. Once it got paid back in, he took it back out again. But Keith was not on board. There was one phone call between the two of them, or 2 phone calls between the two of them, where Keith found out about this latest version of Paul thefting from the account. A vocal, profanity-filled phone call ensued, where Keith demanded to know the password. Where's the money gone? I need to see where the money is. Give me the password. I need that account. Instead of providing the password, the state alleges that Paul showed up at Keith's house in the middle of the night and shot him dead after cutting the power to the house to draw him out as a ploy. 6 rounds were fired out there. Then he entered the house, killed his wife, and killed his 2 kids. This enabled him to be a 50% recipient of that trust fund, that life insurance policy, the very one he was robbing money from the premium fund from. He would get $1.5 million from that if everything worked out right. He then went home back to his house, allegedly, lit his own house on fire to burn evidence and cover up his actions. And, it's been a long case, and it's Friday, and we have a verdict. It's only 2 p.m. 2 p.m. 5 hours of deliberation. That's quick. Let's see. I said 3 hours. I was a little bit off. But 2 to 3 was the first option. 4 to 6 was the next, right? So I was one off. Quick verdict. What does this mean for the prosecution? What does it mean for the defense? I would say that the questions, especially asking to see, asking to hold, to touch, to pick up the knife. Why is the knife important? The knife was not used to kill Keith. The knife was used, presumably, on Keith's wife and their 2 children, 8 and 11 years old. That might be all the driving force a hesitant juror might need to say, okay, I see it. Is there really a verdict? Yes, there is a verdict. A verdict has been reached. We were just waiting for this. Oh my goodness, Dawn, is that tomorrow? Guilty all the way. This will be interesting. This will be a long reading of the verdict. We haven't had. Oh, here we go. Judge is coming out right now. Give me just a second. Let's hear. What do we hear here? 2.
A knock at the door. This is going to be marked as CJ number 6.
It's a question.
And it indicated that we have reached a verdict.
That's a verdict.
So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our alternates in. We'll bring the family in. I'm family in. I'm just, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to bring everyone in because I want to be able to talk to them first about, I don't want to hear any emotions during the course of the verdict being read before I bring the alternates in. So if the Sheriff's Department, if you don't mind, as soon as you're ready, if you can allow people in, and then we'll go from there. All right? So I'll wait for you. Whenever you're ready, you can do that.
Judge Lemieux comes up with a plan as if no one else has ever had a verdict before, reinventing the wheel here in the courtroom live. Lots of bailiffs present. Strong bailiff presence right now. The doors have been opened. The public is allowed to come in. Trying to get a read on some of the faces. These are some familiar faces. We've seen them there multiple times. There's a cameraman. Some family coming in now.
Yeah, I think it's, is that what I said?
Yes.
Yeah.
The judge will be speaking first just to the gallery, giving them instructions that that this is a professional setting, this is an official business, that no outbursts should be allowed, regardless of whether you're happy or upset with the verdict as it's reached. And if you can't contain yourself, you'd probably be invited to leave now. Probably going to be standing room only on this one. Looks like Paul's wife is back. Paul not looking back, his family files in. Seats are adjusted.
Folks, just double check your cell phones, please. Make sure they're on silent or off completely, please.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the jury has indicated that they have reached a verdict. In saying that, I just wanted to remind everyone that while reading the verdict, I'm going to ask, no matter what the verdict may be, I'm going to ask for everyone, you need to keep your emotions in check to the best as you possibly can.
No
Obviously,
outbursts.
everyone in this room understands the emotion behind this case on both sides of the aisle. We respect that. However, for purposes of the courtroom and trying to get through the verdict, I'm asking you to do your best to control that. And then once the verdict is done being read, you'll have the opportunity outside the courtroom to be able to do whatever you feel, and I respect that also. So can everyone follow that? We good?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you all. I very much appreciate it. And again, I understand. With that being said, I'm going to ask for the alternates to be brought.
So judge says saves the cheers and the tears for the hallway. Keep your emotions under check. Jurors are going to be brought in. Defense looks nervous. Paul looks exactly how he's looked any other day of the trial.
And just let me know.
I took a page out of the defense page and changed clothes on lunch as well. Mostly because I spilled spiced maple bourbon pickle juice down my shirt. This verdict just sort of snuck up and grabbed us, so came quickly, not much delay. Jurors now entering the room. 12 jurors. Maybe the other 4 get to come in and listen as well. That'd be nice if they get to participate. Looks like we're waiting for the jurors and the alternates.
All rise. Court is back in session.
Okay, we can have the jury now.
Knock at the door. Here comes the jury. Oh, they have the verdict. Paul's eyes are down, not meeting the eyes of the jury.
Okay, everyone can be seated. Thank you. Mr. Foreman, I received a note at 1:54 p.m. It indicated that we have reached a verdict. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that includes all counts?
All counts.
Okay. All right, so we've marked that as CJ-6, the communication between the court and the jury. So I'm going to go through each one of the questions with you one by one, and you'll just answer the question after I read it, okay? All right. If you don't mind, can you stand for me? Unless you're uncomfortable. Do you have your verdict sheet?
No.
Okay, do you want to get that?
Yes.
All right, thanks.
We left the verdict in the deliberation room, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
As long as he has his, you guys don't all need yours.
But I think that's a telling sign.
Okay, so
Your
we'll
Honor, I
start
don't
from
need
the
to
top.
check my notes. We know
All
what we
right.
decided.
How do you find as to count one of the indictment charging the defendant, Paul Caneiro, with the murder of Keith Caneiro?
Guilty.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the homicidal act by his own conduct, meaning the defendant actively and directly participated in the homicidal act?
Yes.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder in expectation of the receipt of anything of pecuniary value?
Yes.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder for the purpose of escaping detection, apprehension, trial, punishment, or confinement from another offense or offenses committed by him, the defendant?
Yes.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder while he was engaged in the commission of or an attempt to commit the crimes of murder?
Yes.
Okay. Count two. How do you find as to count two of the indictment charging the defendant, Paul Caneiro, with the murder of Jennifer Caneiro?
Guilty.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the homicidal act by his own conduct, meaning the defendant actively and directly participated in the homicidal act?
Yes.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder in expectation of the receipt of anything of pecuniary value?
No.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder for the purpose of escaping detection, apprehension, trial, punishment, or confinement for another offense or offenses committed by him, the defendant?
Yes.
Did the defendant, Paul Caneiro, commit the murder while he was engaged in the commission of or an attempt to commit the crimes of murder?
Yes.
3. How do you find as to count 3 of the indictment charging the defendant, Paul Caneiro, with the murder of Jesse Caneiro?
Guilty.
Did defendant Paul Caneiro commit the homicidal act by his own conduct, meaning that defendant actively or directly participated in the homicidal act?
Yes.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder in expectation of the receipt of anything of pecuniary value?
No.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder for the purpose of escaping detection, apprehension, trial, punishment, or confinement for another offense or offenses committed by him, the defendant?
Yes.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder while he was engaged in the commission of or an attempt to commit the crime or crimes of murder?
Yes.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder while Jesse Caneiro was less than 14 years old?
Yes.
Count 4. How do you find as to count 4 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with the murder of Sophia Caneiro?
Guilty.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the homicidal act by his own conduct, meaning the defendant actively and directly participated in the homicidal act?
Yes.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder in expectation of the receipt of anything of pecuniary value?
No.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder for the purpose of escaping detection, apprehension, trial, punishment, or confinement for another offense or offenses committed by him, the defendant?
Yes.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder while he was engaged in the commission of or an attempt to commit the crime or crimes of murder?
Yes.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro commit the murder while Sophia Caneiro was less than 14 years old?
Yes.
Count 5. How do you find as to count 5 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with the felony murder of Jesse Caneiro?
Guilty.
How do you find as to count 6 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with the felony murder of Sophia Caneiro?
Guilty.
How do you find as to count 7 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with aggravated arson as to the structure of 15 Willowbrook Road, Colts Neck?
Guilty.
How do you find as to count 8 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with aggravated arson as to the structure of 27 Tilton Drive, Ocean Township?
Guilty.
Count 9. How do you find as to count 9 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with possession of a firearm for unlawful purpose?
Guilty.
Count 11. How do you find as to count 11 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with possession of a knife for an unlawful purpose?
Guilty.
How do you find as to count 12 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with the unlawful possession of a knife?
Guilty.
How do you find as to count 13 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with theft?
Why is there a GoPro up there?
Indicate the value of the pecuniary benefit the defendant received from the misapplication.
Check number 1.
Okay, so it's $75,000 or more.
Yes.
Okay. How do you find as to count 14 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with misapplication of entrusted property?
Guilty.
Did the defendant Paul Caneiro derive a pecuniary benefit from the misapplication?
Yes.
Indicate the value of the pecuniary benefit the defendant received from the misapplication.
1. $75,000 or more.
Okay, thank you. Count 15. How do you find as to count 15 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with hindering one's own apprehension or prosecution?
Guilty.
Count 16. How do you find as to count 16 of the indictment charging the defendant Paul Caneiro with hindering one's own apprehension or prosecution?
Guilty.
Okay. Thank you, sir. You can be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the foreman go through each one of the charges.
They're going to pull the jury here.
And indicated the verdict as to all of you. At this point in time, I'm going to ask the deliberating jurors. I'm just going to go by your seat number, that's it. And I'm just going to ask, do you agree with the entire verdict as was read by your foreman, juror number 1, okay? Juror number 2.
Agreed.
Juror number 3.
Agreed.
Juror number 4.
Agreed.
Juror number 5.
Agreed.
Juror number 6.
Agreed.
Juror number 7.
Agreed.
Juror number 9.
Agreed.
Juror number 10.
Agreed.
Juror number 12.
Agreed.
Juror number 13.
Agreed.
And juror number 14.
Agreed.
Okay. Our jury has been polled. Is there any reason for the attorneys to approach the bench?
No, Judge.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor at this point in time. I'm just going to ask for you to go into the jury room for a minute.
Kicks the jury out. Lots of hugs, tears, and smiles in the gallery, as well as some solemn faces.
All of you can all go in. I'm sorry. I wasn't looking up. I apologize.
the most involved the non-deliberating jurors have ever been in the case?
Okay. Mr. Caneiro, at this point in time, you no longer
Have the presumption of
are
innocence.
presumed to be innocent. You have been convicted by a jury of your peers under 3:21-4A. You will now be detained and committed to the custody of the Commissioner of MCCI pending sentence. Your sentence will be scheduled for May the 12th, 2026, which is a Tuesday, and that is at 8:30 a.m. I will also, as a part of this, just so that the record is clear, as it relates to any motion for a new trial under 3:20-2, that there are 10 days from today's date for a motion for a new trial, which would be February 23rd. If the defense decides to file a motion for a new trial, the defendant's brief, I want everyone to have it now, will be due on March 16th, 2026 by 4:30 p.m.
That's
The
quick.
state's response would be due by April the 6th, 2026 by 4:30 p.m. And the hearing date would be scheduled for April 20th, 2026 at 8:30 a.m. So again, if a motion is filed, those are the dates so that we do not have to come back for a briefing schedule. I'm giving it to you now so that we're all on the same page. At this point in time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to excuse the jury, and then I will excuse everyone from the back. All right, so I just ask everyone to stay put for a minute, but I wanted to at least get that finished and put on the record.
You can grab all your stuff?
Yes, you can grab everything. No. Back in here.
Not much emotion from Paul.
Everybody can be seated. Sorry, there was just something I had to handle before I excused you. So first and foremost, obviously, let me thank you. I've tried to do that a few times during the course of this, but at this point in time, now I lose control of you. You lose control of me, which is probably good for you. You don't have to listen to me anymore. But I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for the time that you have put into this from the week of January the 5th. Some people on this jury were here on that first day and have been here throughout the entire time. Our system of justice, if you remember what I said in the beginning, fails without people like yourselves for taking the time to sacrifice your time so that our system of justice can have jurors to come in and to render decisions on cases just like this. So the fact that you did that, and you did it, all of you did it with such professionalism, with dedication. I watched you each and every day. I told you before that you all paid attention. You very much were focused on the task at hand, and I commend all of you for what you've accomplished here, which is to render a decision as to this difficult case. That's number one. Number two, I said this to you before. I do my best to try to keep matters calm and here with some humor here and there. There's no humor in any of this, and everyone knows that. And I think I've said that before, but I say it again now so that you understand. I only do it because I understand the impacts that it has, and I wanted to make sure that you understood, that I understood where you were coming from, and I tried to do that by keeping things calm. The third thing that I want to say is that at this point in time, I now lose control. And when I say that, as you leave here at the courthouse today, obviously you weren't allowed to know anything about what was going on in the real world as it related to this case for an extended period of time. I want to remind you, everything that happens in that jury room, that's the sanctity of that jury room. That should be left there. I can't force you to not say anything, but I have to make sure that you understand. If for some reason you decided to either to speak out to the media or speak out to anyone else, if you say something there that has an impact on what happened here, then I'm going to have to bring you back, and I'm going to have to question you as it relates to whatever that you may or may not have said. I don't say that to threaten you or in any way. I just need you to understand the truth that would be something that I would need to do to make sure that that process, that whatever went on in there, only you control what happened in there, and that's it. So I suggest you not to do that. Obviously, you'll be talking to your family and friends, and you can do that at this point. That's no problem at all. But I just remind you of that issue that could come up if you decide to speak to the media. It's publicized, and then ultimately there may be a question that I may have to ask you about that. So other than that, again, you'll now be leaving. I want to say thank you. I appreciate all of your time. If I'm the lucky one, maybe I'll see you in 3 years when I send you a new notice to come back. Otherwise, I really appreciate all your time and effort. Thank you very, very much.
He wasn't talking to you, Paul. He was talking to the jurors only. A little veiled threat. No, but it's true. It's true. But we've never heard it spoken quite like that. If a juror goes out and talks to the media and says, yeah, we couldn't decide, so we flipped a coin, that's a problem. Then it comes back, and then the judge says, you did what? Hang on. We might need to reverse this. But it's rare that I've heard him so blatantly say, don't talk to the media. He didn't take away their freedom of speech. He just advised them and counseled them not to talk to the media because it can become problematic. But he did say he could talk to family and friends. How do you think he gets to the media? Oftentimes, it might be somebody you know that connects you to the media, not necessarily you yourself doing some yellow page fingers do the walking searches.
Okay, what we'll do is, everyone can be seated. What we'll do is, at this point in time, Anna will go in. She will make sure that take out any notes or anything that may possibly in there so that they are immediately destroyed. However, if both sides can just wait to get your evidence so you can take that back with you, I would appreciate it. Anybody have any questions? Okay. All right. We will see everyone back here on, as of right now, May 12th, unless there's a motion that's filed. Thank you all.
Got 10 days to file a motion to say we'd like to have a retrial. 10 days. It's not very long. I mean, it's easy to file the motion, but they've got only a month to put everything together, and then a few more days for the state to respond. So we will know before sentencing if they are seeking a new trial. We'll know in just a few days, about the time that Corey Richmond starts. We'll know if he's seeking a new trial. So it looks like mostly supporters there present, supporters of the victims. Smiles and hugs in the gallery there as justice is doled out with heaping measure. There we go. I think that might have been the other family.
Remember in the beginning when we started 110 years ago?
I remember, Baby Shark. All right, we've concluded the case, but we're not done for the day. It's only 2:30. We still have an Amazon dispute that might change the way you buy things online. You never know. This going on in Thurston County, Washington. We're going to pick up here in just a minute. Bree comes in with a doozy. Hang on. Let me before I tell you what this means. Let me just open an email really quickly. You know the one, Red. Let's see. There it is. All right, Bree gives us an emoji breakdown of the trial, which basically, if you need to text somebody what the trial's about, this is the quickest way to do it, just using these emojis. So while people are walking out, and pretty much the only people, it's strange, the defendant is still left in the courtroom. Like everyone else is going to leave before he does. Usually the bailiff, when they say remanded to, the cuffs go on and they want to drag him out the door, but not so in New Jersey. Everyone's just standing around wondering what's going to happen next. Prosecutor leans over the bar and says, "Yeah, I think it was my closing that really did the trick. That's what clinched the verdict." All right, not sure what they're waiting for, but we're gonna jump up to this version. So it goes like this: Square One and EcoStar, they're two brothers and their businesses. They had a loving extended family. Paul worried about money. Paul's the neighborhood and family superhero and patron saint of pergolas. I like that there, the patron saint of pergolas. Let's see. So he drove home with handicapped placard after murder and starting fire in basement, cut the internet fibers. Paul's home was on fire too. Luckily, he moved his rental car. You got the firefighters and the dog. A video of Paul without clothing and commingled DNA blood on hidden jeans. Paul always has a handy backpack. Defense's long-winded DNA soup closing. The state nailed the closing, and it was not the third brother, Corey. Is that everything? Is that? And then the candy update's not on this one. Where's the next one? Is there a next one? There was a second message of emojis that I missed. I think it was this one right here. Here's the ending. This one has the candy update. 178 candies. The DNA, the blood on the jeans, the gloves, the fire. Paul on the camera without the shirt on in the garage. Yeah. Talks to the police. Acts sad. Got the backpack, the knife, all the IDs, the money, everything. Wow.
Remember in the beginning when we started 110 years ago?
There you go. It's great, Bree. It's great. It spans two whole messages. Bree, yes, I got the side notes. I was reading them here, the notated version, and I read just the notations. I'm not sure if that worked as well. But I'm not sure what they're still doing in court. Like Paul still has not left. He's still standing around. Like the bailiff's about to leave. But now, here they go. They're like, "Hey, can we take your chair for you, buddy?" And he gets to be cuffed in front. Oh, no, this is the belt. He does get to be cuffed in front. He gets gold bracelets. Those are shiny gold. Ankles as well. This is full shackles for transport. And we're done. All right. Now we're going to jump back to Thurston County, Washington. I don't know. Let me just ask you guys. Was anyone surprised by the verdict? Is anybody surprised by the verdict? I was not. I was not surprised. That seemed there were so many standalone pieces of circumstantial evidence that could have brought a conviction on their own. But there was just one after another after another. Yes, I know we didn't get Corey's DNA. We'll never know how many alleles they share. But guess what Corey didn't have in his basement? The murder weapon locked in his gun safe. Nor did he have the murder clothes covered in blood, lit on fire. Nor did he have the murder barrel in the backpack that he carried out and stuck in the car after he lit his own house on fire. Corey had none of those things. There was no evidence. He didn't even know, as far as we heard, he didn't even know that he was named in the insurance policy in the trust. Didn't even know he was on there. So, wow. All right, we're going to go back. If you missed it, we interrupted our Thurston County, Washington Amazon trial, where a man who was ordered $450,000 worth of products off Amazon, sometimes thousands of dollars at a time, is suing them for basically everything, asking for a bunch of money. He had a return for 8 pairs of Twinkly Christmas lights, which are expensive. Twinkly is a brand. They're basically Christmas lights that you can program very, very easily using a phone. You can wrap your tree with lights and take a picture and then draw on the picture, and then the lights come on in that pattern. They do cool things, right? These are cool lights. They're not cheap. So when he bought 8 pairs of them and they're like $800 and something, you know why. Anyway, so he's busy suing Amazon in the small claims court in Thurston County, Washington. And Amazon is trying to say, no, we gave you all your money back, and we're not going to give you another red penny. And by the way, I'm canceling your Prime. We're going to see where this one ends up as we're continuing here with
3. You will see the tracking details that Amazon sees. And we can see that this order was dropped off June 25th, but it has not been received or processed. And the final page of Exhibit 2, you can see in the top right corner, that is the order ID for this order, and the product that was received was from a different order. And that is the reason why it was later recharged. However, like I've said, in this instance, Mr. Pravotsky messaged an Amazon customer service representative, and they issued the refund promptly upon hearing that he did refund it. Sometimes issues can happen. Sometimes things get mixed up in the mail. Sometimes the return authorization numbers are on different packages. Oftentimes, this order, for example, was a UPS drop-off. Sometimes there are issues there, and Amazon tries to be understanding of said issues. And so even though Amazon has not received the items, or has not at least been able to locate the items, Amazon did end up issuing that refund. Similar, in Exhibit 3, there were 8 items purchased in total, and Amazon received a return request for 4 of these items. Amazon only received 2 of the items in the return. However, all 4 have since been refunded. And for an Exhibit 4, a similar situation. 2 items were requested to be returned. Amazon only received 1 of these. And upon hearing that both were returned, Amazon has since issued the second refund.
Yes, I want to do that so badly.
However, because Amazon has, in each of these scenarios, Amazon has no indication that these items were ever received, and nor were they processed. So they were retrocharged accurately. However, because out of a gesture of goodwill making these exceptions, Amazon has issued these refunds. There is another order that is mentioned within plaintiff's exhibits. This is order ID, which ends in 446. It is for garden net lights. It is in Mr. Provatsky's exhibit 2A. I do want to just clarify for the court what happened in this situation. The order ID ending in 446, it was for an item which
Was it also
the
lights?
identification number for that item is B0CS5N9451. A similar item was purchased one day after this item. So they're both garden nets. And for the second order, that is order ID ending in 227, just so we can differentiate. The order ID ending in 446, a return was requested. Upon processing that return, Amazon found that the item was the item from order ID 227. It was the other version of the garden nets that were purchased from a different seller, and it is a different item.
How is this different than skip scanning
And
at
so
Walmart?
even though Amazon
Sean?
didn't receive a return request for order ID 227, upon finding that the wrong item was returned, Amazon did issue a refund for order ID 227 on June 29th, 2024 for $32.48, which is the total amount that was paid. The order ID 446, as you can see in Exhibit 2A, it was recharged in October of 2024 for $43.31, as Amazon had not received the item from that order. However, after conversations with Mr. Provatsky, that recharge was then refunded on December 3rd, 2024, even though Amazon had not received this item, or at least cannot locate it within its systems. That has also been refunded. Overall, it is Amazon's position that Mr. Provatsky hasn't suffered a monetary loss in this situation. Order ID ending in 205, that first one, was refunded in full, and a clerical error does not entitle him to a refund greater than what was paid. And each of the retro charges and the 3 orders within our exhibits, and the 4th one that I mentioned orally, they have all been refunded in full, which is the extent of Amazon's liability per its conditions of use, as well as in small claims court, the compensable amount is typically for recovery of money only. It does not, the statute does not allow the recovery of non-economic damages. And in this scenario, Amazon has acted within its policies, and has also extended grace in situations where it couldn't find records of returns, and has made an attempt to resolve this issue.
Thank you, Ms. Voorhees. Mr. Provatsky, I want to return to you. I checked in and wanted to make sure that you'd had a chance to fully offer your testimony, but I want to check one more time. Anything else you'd like me to know in this matter, sir?
Thank you, Your Honor. I did forget to go through my exhibits. I know you've reviewed them, but I wanted to make a few quick points if I could.
Please.
Yeah, she's Ms. Voorhees is speaking about items that were returned were not the right items, or they received it on a different order. I can say for a fact that I returned the proper items. The suet balls were not returned. It was the other items, and I know these are small in the scheme of things. And I'm providing proof on I think 7 or 8 different items. I've asked Amazon over the last almost 2 years now, or a year and a half, for the detail. I've been able to pull some detail from Amazon's site, but it doesn't provide me the information needed to come up with an exact number. And I've even asked Ms. Voorhees directly after she was assigned to this matter multiple times, I think 3 or 4 messages, for some information to work this out with Amazon before wasting the court's time. And I received no response whatsoever. I was very disheartened by that bad faith. I'll point out in exhibit, what is it, 2B,
Those are for the birds, right?
second or is it third
Bird feed.
page? In that conversation, I'm asking Amazon about, it's happening again. This is in July, I think, of 2025, sorry. Asking them, hey, this keeps happening, and I haven't received any response. And then, we're sorry for the inconvenience. We will make sure this will not happen again. Please rest assured. But as you can see from the other proof I've provided, it just continues to happen. And I'm not sure if it's even still resolved to this day, because the couple instances that I have are within the last couple months. Amazon, as you can see in my exhibits, the last 2 exhibits, this is a case that is in the process of settlement. I am, when the time comes, going to ensure that I'm not part of that settlement. I haven't been offered the ability to exclude myself. Back in the day, had Amazon been truthful with me and stated that there was a pending class action case, this may have turned out differently. I may not have wasted the amount of time I have, nor been in the position here we are today to talk about this. And then just my damages calculation, I believe it was a specific written promise. At the time, I specifically believed Amazon was making right for the October conversation I had with their attorneys just 2 months later. I had no reason to believe that that was just a typo. The numbers don't even closely relate to the amount for that specific item. And as you can see in my exhibit, I'm also asking for interest from that point forward.
Interest.
You can see, I think the last thing I'll point out is
and liquidated damages.
I'm not sure how much detail you've read through on the specific Amazon case that I provided. And I didn't want to give you the entirety because I know it's thousands of pages. I provided the common facts. This is just not just a me issue. This is an issue across the board. My issue started in a conversation with Amazon in which they could have told me that this was a pending case, did not, hid that information for whatever reason. And that's why I'm here today, is on an issue that I've had with Amazon now for over 2 years, likely for the past 20 years that I didn't know about. But I can't get that information from Amazon, or at least they're not willing to provide it to me. And I understand that this court generally doesn't issue subpoenas. So I'm here today hoping that I've provided enough evidence to at least the primary estoppel of the $6,500 or some a semblance of making my case that Your Honor will rule in my favor. I hope I've provided enough. If you have any questions, I'm here and ready for them.
Thank you, Mr. Pravatsky. I have no questions for you at this time. Ms. Voorhees, I gave Mr. Pravatsky an opportunity to provide additional information. Is there anything else you'd like me to know at this time?
At this time, I would just like to I explained the majority of our exhibits, but if there are more questions about the specific policies here, Exhibit 6 under Advance Refunds, Replacements, and Exchanges explains Amazon's refund policy, and that in certain scenarios, there are times where someone may be refunded or recharged And Exhibit 7 shows the different spots in which a customer must agree to Amazon's
Thanks,
conditions
Kaylee.
of use when they create an account, whenever they sign in, and when they place an order on Amazon. And then Amazon's exhibit, or under that is Amazon's conditions of use that were in effect at the time that this dispute was raised. And it does state under the disclaimer of warranties and limitation of liability section that to the full extent permissible by law, Amazon will not be liable for any damages of any kind arising from the use of any Amazon service or from any information, content, materials, products, or other services, including on or otherwise made available to you through any Amazon service, including but not limited to direct, indirect, incidental, punitive, and consequential damages. Amazon does not believe that they really are liable for the amount claimed. It is Amazon's position that Mr. Pravatsky has been made whole.
Thank you, Ms. Voorhees. All right, at this time, I'm going to enter my judgment. I find in favor of the defendant, Amazon.com. It appears that Mr. Pravatsky has received refunds for the items that I have evidence for. I do not find that the statement in the chat was a new contract. I do believe that that was a typo. So at this time, I'm going to dismiss this case. Thank you both for your time. Take care. The copy of this will be available online if you need to review it through the Thurston County website. If you can also come in and grab a copy in person. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thurston County keeps copies of this online? It's good to know. Well, there you go. Suing Amazon after you got a refund for another refund is not effective, at least in Thurston County. So don't do that. Checking what else is on the docket here up in Thurston right now, if they're doing anything else. Let's see, what was that? Nope, nothing there. Do we have one? Nope, nothing going on there. We are a week away. Why would you keep buying from Amazon? $450,000 worth of purchases over the last 20 years. That's a lot. Okay, I mean, if you break down the math, I'm going to do it here for you, so you won't have to. I'm just going to pull up my calculator so we don't miss any of the pennies. It's going to go like this: 450,000 divided by 20. That equals he spends $22,500 on average. $22,500 buying stuff on Amazon. I am willing to bet that his return rate is higher than the average customer. That he brings back a lot of... When I heard that he bought twinkly lights for his garden, and he bought them and then returned them late, I was sure that he purchased them like Thanksgiving and returned them January 3rd. It's like... I tried them out this Christmas season. They're just not what I was looking for. Please give me a full refund. Turns out he actually sent them back a little bit earlier before Christmas, but yeah. And his garden must be amazing. He may have a buy-in addiction or a refund addiction. And a couple of you said vexatious litigant. Possible. He seems to know his way around the courts quite well. He even knows their habits as to whether or not they issue subpoenas from this particular court. So either he's a lawyer in his spare time, or he's been here before with other defendants. Oh man, I smell a rat. What's with the suet? Was it like $800 worth of suet balls? These are the ones that have little seeds on them. It's like fat with seeds, right? It's for the birds in the winter. The birds and the squirrels in the winter. That's like a rat problem right there. 270 orders placed in 24 hours. Okay, now, I don't know how to look up. I pulled up my account. I want to see, let's see, search orders. No results found. No. Your orders. in the past, or just for 2025. 2025. I placed 134 orders in 2025. How do I get the total? It is like more than 14 pages of orders. In my defense, 134 orders. I'm pretty sure about 100 of those were Christmas. Amazon just blocked him. I'm pretty sure he's not like a Prime customer anymore. Maybe the mods deserve to go home 2 hours early. They are home. I'm just kidding, mods. Thank you very much. The mods know that they can leave at a moment's notice. I do not own them or have any claim on their time. Any time they spend here helping us is counted as a gift and a blessing, which I'm extremely grateful for. Always, they come first. Their families come first. Anything else comes first. And when we get to spend time with them, it's just wonderful. I don't want to know how much I spend, says Krista. I ordered 2 things from Amazon in 2025, both gifts. I wish I could sort this. This is both family and business because it doesn't differentiate between my payment accounts. I'm wondering if, how much have I done so far this year? 12 orders. 12 times. 2 of them were today because I had to order the 200 feet of cable, and then I had to order a spool for the cable so I can wind it up. And then I ordered some microphone and another cable. I got another cable and some microphone covers. You can never have enough microphone covers. These little, you never have enough because you change them frequently. Does this guy resell? I don't know. I'm curious. Has anyone ever done that? I mean, I have. Bought the most amazing Goodell vegetable grater from Amazon. Might have to send me a link, Nexus Lexus. Red Pen says, I'm here but mobile, not at home. Shannon says, I've spent $1,005 in the past 12 months at Amazon. So I think that's reasonable. Why? Because if you take that and divide it by 12, you're under $100 a month, right? You're in the about $80 a month, $85 a month. Math in my head is not very good. If you're ordering some of the necessities that you just use often, whether it be batteries, toilet paper, light bulbs, whatever it may be, red Solo cups, if you're a police department, whatever you just need a lot of, that adds up pretty quickly. Amazon will give you a refund if the box arrives slightly damaged. How do you even see how many orders? I went to my account at the very top, and it says you go to your account and you click on your orders, and then it says number of orders placed and you hit the drop down box and you choose the year. So like 2024, 108 orders. 2024, 2023, 63 orders. 2022, also 63 orders. That's what a coincidence. 102 in 2021. 99 in 2020. How long have I been an Amazon customer? Since 2003, when I ordered 7 times. And once in 2004. Nothing in 2005. There you go. There was a whole year I didn't order from Amazon. Or 2006. Or 2007. Once in 2008, I bought an Apple iPod Touch 8 gigabyte second generation. Nothing in 2009. I was busy playing on my iPod that whole year. 2010, 4 things. Man, I can see my family grow up in my Amazon orders. This is crazy. Sassy Ringo Lynx Rattle Developmental Toy. Baby Einstein Octoplush. Thomas the Train. Cars. This is my whole family history in Amazon orders. All right. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do now? Do you guys want an early break for the weekend? You've deserved it. You've sat through some very, very painful trials. We have about a week before Corey Richens starts, which is going to be awesome. 334 in 2025. I think you all deserve an early break. Laura, thank you for that. $5, most of RA's purchases are cables. No, they're not, believe it or not. I would say less than 20 of my purchases last year were cables on Amazon. I buy most of my cables from Sweetwater or B&H Photo because they have a better warranty. When I buy gear from Sweetwater, they'll insure it for two. I didn't tell you this. I bought stuff from Sweetwater yesterday. Okay, I bought a new microphone. The microphone the judge and everyone was using today, that long, skinny microphone. I bought one of those because I need one for a gig that we have coming up next month. And they're not cheap. They're about almost $400 per microphone. So I've been eyeing this one. I found one on sale, open box. I got it $70 off, and I said, I've got to get it. Now's the time. I bought that microphone. My sales agent, Charlton, from Sweetwater, he normally calls me after I place an order. He's like, hey, Scott, saw your order come through. Thanks. We're going to box it up. We'll have it out tomorrow or today or whatever it is. And is there anything else I can do for you? He's great that way. I get a text from Charlton. He's like, hey, Scott, I noticed you're live right now, so I wasn't going to call. Just wanted to let you know. I'm like, Charlton, you literally jumped online and said hi. And, I mean, came into chat to see what was going on. Speaking of calls, hang on. Hello.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosie. I'm calling about.
It's a computer. Never mind. It was Rosie. Anyway, so Charlton at Sweetwater, thank you very much. He knows me. He knows I live stream. He checks the channel before he calls to see I'm available because he knows the hours I live stream. And he thanks me for the order. Want to watch the rest of the docket we just watched? I think it shut off. What other docket do we have? I know there were some moderators in there, some negotiators. Let's see. I think that's it. Dare I say play the music? So happy for all of you, says Pentaflay. So happy for all of you who stuck through this together for Just Verdict, I assume. We got the verdict music. Remember? It sounded like this. But you didn't hear it. I can hear it. You want to hear it? It sounded like that. It was beautiful. We did get verdict music today. But we also get this music because we're done. It's 3 o'clock. It's a little bit early. The weekend is upon us. Do you guys have plans? I know what I have to do. I have to do a couple, and I apologize. I'll apologize in the front. I had my meeting with YouTube today, and they stressed the importance of me doing the 10 members only streams, posts, whatever. So I have to crank out a couple. So I'm going to just do like back to back. I'm just going to get them done. So I apologize for the low quality content some of you members might be presented with. But I've got to get this done so I can qualify to be in the next step of this program, which I do want to be a part of. I did meet new creators today, actual other YouTubers. YouTube put me in a breakout room with a whole bunch of other YouTubers with no YouTube management at all. And they're like, okay, talk amongst yourselves. And the first thing that came up was like, so I only stream on YouTube. Do you guys stream on other platforms? Like, should I be on X? Should I be on Insta? Should I go on Facebook? It was hilarious. It's like YouTube brought us together to talk about going to other places. Anyway, I thought that was really funny. YouTube will watch the replay and like, well, that was a bad idea. Anyway, I did meet somebody else in my creator group who happens to be into true crime and has a true crime channel and does a weekly show. So we started sharing some information about what we think might work best for her program, her channel. She's got a lot of goals. She's just starting out, but I'll watch all the crazy membership lives. Maybe I'll set up a phone out on the little park bench with all the bird seeds, and we'll film that tonight. Tonight, when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe. We'll go live again Monday morning. You guys have a great weekend. One more week, and Corey Richards is going to start. Be good to each other. We will see you all on Monday or on the memberships live before then. Bye-bye.
Remember in the beginning when we started 110 years ago?
Because he's the guy.